Cavalry! Cavalry! Cavalry!
Hello and welcome back to the Foot Soldiers podcast. As always, my name is Luke. I'm joined here once again by Sean, who did not watch the Forge game, and Conrad, who did. Of course, that game was a 0-0 draw in which Razor Rama got a red card. Nate Ingham kept his first ever clean sheet in a Cavalry kit. What do you think of this game, Conrad?
Let's just say that the all-state Nate monkier that has been thrown around with Nate Ingham was certainly deserved in this one. If you look at foot mob ratings, was a solid half point above all other contenders, and he made a couple of brilliant stops to keep this match 0-0. And yeah, for what could have been a sleepy game for all of Cavalry's attacking players, Nate had to come through big, and I think this is what we came to expect when we signed Nate Ingham. Like, he's going to need to steal some, because as much as I would have liked Prince Harry to score in every single match forever and ever, amen, we all knew that wasn't going to happen. And so the only frustrating point in this match is what minute was the red card given in? Like, 56. Like, you can't score when you're up a man 35 minutes and barely had possession for that 35 minutes too. It was a little frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that Ingham stole the game for us. I do think it was maybe a little bit more even than that. I do think he did. Certainly, he was a man of the match, my man of the match. And I was doing a bit in the Discord of every time he made a save, I would say Marco's in goal. It's 1-0 now. I think at the end it got up to 9-0 that Marco was in goal. Which is a very very funny counterfactual, because Marco looked like dog shit over the weekend. But yeah, I do think the defense as a whole, certainly Perlman, Klomp, and Didic all played pretty well. And I think that kind of the tactic going in was kind of try and get a 0-0 if we can nick a goal, see what happens. Because Forge away, I'll never be upset with a 0-0 draw, certainly. The only thing, like you said there, was the red card.
And I thought, Gote had one of the better attacking player ratings for both squads. I would have liked to see Gote be used a little bit more in the attack, because he seemed to have jump. And hey, when you have the two right backs, or right center back in Nimic and Razor Rama, who ended up taking the red card on Gote, you should be attacking those players with one of the fastest players in the CPL a little bit more. Or am I crazy saying that? Is that not something that Cavalry seems to lack, that little bit of dark arts in attacking a player that's on a yellow?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I agree. I think Gote played incredibly well. I do think Gote right now is probably our best attacking player. My preseason prediction that he'd be our Foot Soldiers player of the year is maybe looking pretty good. He's our own little Alfonso Davies. But yeah, I do certainly see your point there. That Razor Rama red card, I think, was very funny. It's just completely the most obvious second yellow of all time. And then I think Bobby, because he challenged it, which you can't challenge a second yellow, so he was challenging for something. I think that was just a crash out.
He was challenging that Intingi elbowed Rama in the face to the level that it was serious foul play.
Well, Intingi should have been sent off as well, was his argument.
Yes, exactly. He was trying to even it up.
So see, I think that Bobby just had a little bit of a crash out. It's oh fuck it, let's just challenge, let's see what happens.
It's interesting, and and you can always tell with Bobby's upper lip starts going when they start showing him on the One Soccer feed. He's getting angry. His assistant coaches are about to throw slurs again. So
yeah, there you go. But yeah, even talking about, I think just discipline throughout the game, I think Forge were far more undisciplined than we were. I think part of that is down to the fact that Tristan Borges was their captain. Obviously he's a fantastic player, but I don't think he's necessarily a captain material. Right? I think Camargo's a better choice in that regard than Tristan Borges. What do you think of
that? I guess it's time for me to eat crow with a certain other captain for Forge, announcing previous to this match that he's been diagnosed with testicular cancer. Obviously, the only thing I had in troubles with was Kyle Becker not acknowledging that he could go talk to someone else in this league that's dealt with that. In none of his interviews, he ever said, well, there is someone else in this league who went through this 2 years ago. It credits his teammates, and yeah, that's team sports. You'll never hear less cliches than team sports, but would have loved to hear him give a little bit of a shine to, the guy that was the head of the union for a couple of years. Yeah,
is he still the union head?
No, I think it's someone out of Pacific now, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
Sean,
Yeah, I think Sean's doing some Googling.
Yeah, Sean.
Frantically Googling to try and
Yeah.
contribute to the podcast here.
But yeah, it was. Of course, I'll eat crow, and obviously, you never wish that on your worst enemy. So yes, I don't wish that diagnosis on Kyle Becker. I'll speak as someone who is currently undergoing testing for different forms of cancer. It sucks. Like it's not anything pleasant. So obviously, I wish him all the best when he returns. I still don't think he's an end player in this league.
There you go. See, I mean, all I'm gonna say is you were factually correct, man. That was a right now he's not played 90 minutes.
Played 0 minutes thus far.
Yeah, and for me, to quote Jay Cartwright, I didn't like him when he was well. I didn't like when he was ill. I don't like him now he's getting better. It's that simple, really. We'll have to see. It'll be nice. His first game back. Maybe we'll do like a little applause before the game. But I'm looking forward to just booing his ass off for a full 90 minutes. I'm sure he'd be looking forward to that too.
I'm sure he's gonna get the he's got one ball chance that
Yeah,
Marco always seems to get. So
yeah. Any update on this, Sean? On the
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, you don't want someone, to be struck forever by something like that. But also, when you get better, and I'm sure you will get better, I hope you are terrible on the pitch and you retire shortly after. So go out, get on the pitch, get 5 minutes in, and you're not that good anymore. So get out of here, but also get better so we can actually prove that instead of talking out our ass. So
yeah, there you go.
And that's as nice as you're going to get from anyone in Cavalry, because everyone in this supporter base fucking hates you. So like the fact that you're not getting absolutely buried is like, that's a pretty big compliment from us. So
yeah, there you go. A little bit of begrudging positive comments there on Kyle Becker. I'm just looking at the stats here from that game. I think that almost feels like it was the opposite of the Ottawa game in a lot of ways, because we outpossessed them 64-36, but we didn't get any shots on target off. They had 15 shots. Actually, looking at the stats, it was maybe a bit less equal than I thought it was watching the game. But like, I didn't really feel like they were like consistently threatening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only real threatening chance that I even felt was coming off that corner where we nearly Olympicoed them. Like that would have been such sweet justice for Toby Warshevsky to go in Olympico Forge in Hamilton, but didn't happen. And yeah, I think it was a tactical 0-0, as you said, Luke.
Yeah, I mean certainly from Tommy. I think if it worked for the red card, we'd be talking about a very I think if we probably would have lost that game. Maybe look at the stats now for the red card. Certainly would have gone very differently in second half. That's the only maybe point of concern, is that we had like almost an entire half up a man. We couldn't really do anything with it. But like I said, at the end of the day, I'm never going to complain about a clean sheet's nice. First clean sheet of the year. First clean sheet for Ingham. And we are now joint top of the league with Forge, who have not yet conceded a goal even.
So typical. So
yeah. But yeah, like there's not a lot to say about a game when 1/3 of the podcast didn't watch it, and it was a pretty boring 0-0 draw. So unless we have anything else to say about the Forge game,
I will only say that I've been really pumping the tires for Nathaniel Edwards, and I thought this was a return to the form from the first match from him. I would have liked to see a little bit earlier substitution to bring on Kanija, if that is who you're going to put on that side.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to throw in the most uninterested player on the Cavalry FC lineup, Ali Musi, for a little bit longer, I would even understand that. Or hey, throw Jay Herdman in there. He looked good in week 1, but instead we're going to throw him right back for some reason for 6 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was good to see Herdman back on the pitch, at least after not being in the team sheet at all in the second game week. I still don't really know for sure what was up with that, but
the rumor is concussion.
Okay.
At least it wasn't Adetokounmpo.
Okay.
Or no, it wasn't. Who was it that dribbled their head off the floor? Wembanyama the other day. Ugh, that was ugly.
But yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Like it's like I was saying this too, even at the pub watch the game. Like this is just Tommy's thing though, right? Like he's slow to make subs, and they're usually the right subs. But like when you're making a triple sub in the 85th minute, they're gonna change the game that much? Probably not. And And we'll talk about the Toronto game a little bit more at the end of this year, but I do wonder kind of what the starting forward lineup looks like in that game. Like if we maybe give the start to Herdman or Elva, or even like if Moosey gets more. Moosey certainly doesn't deserve more minutes, but at some point, I wonder if he's going to stay on the bench all year or see what's up with that.
I wonder if it is somewhat fitness related from him signing late and not getting as much training time. But that's really the only reason I could foresee him having this limited of a role thus far with the team.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Sorry,
it
go ahead.
lovely to see the two Pride fellows getting subbed in together hand in hand? Brian Wright and Mo Babuli coming in at the same time.
Yeah, that was very funny stuff. Yeah, like kind of to that point of the Moosey fitness thing. Like if that is what it is, like he's not really going to get more fit playing 5 minutes into the game, right? So we'll have to kind of wait and see. Again, we'll talk about this more with the Toronto thing at the end of this year. But again, like there's not a whole lot to say about the Forge game other than the fact that Ingham rocks. He's a great goalie. Didic and Klomp still a rock as a great center back pairing. Even Didic on a yellow card, he played fine. Like it certainly didn't affect him like it did with Rama. So hopefully they can carry this good defensive form forward and hopefully get some more goals this weekend against a probably worse defense. But yeah, if there's nothing else to say about the Forge game, we can now bring Sean into the fray because Sean, instead of watching the Cavalry Forge game, he watched the Super home debut, which I did not watch. So what do you think of the first ever, I guess the second ever CPL game played in Quebec, the first ever regular not on tour game played in Quebec?
Yeah, so full disclosure, I recorded the Cavalry Forge game like I record every game, but I heard enough comments that the game was not that good, and so I just hit delete, and away we went. So I figured if I'm going to watch a recorded game, I'm going to watch the big debut out in Quebec there. It looked like a really cool place to play. I mean, yeah, they have the gridiron lines on there, and there was so much complaining about the gridiron lines that it's just like, guys, it's a temporary stadium. The problem's gone, and like by next Saturday, I can't remember exactly when Cavalry played there, the third, they'll be in their regular home because it's being renovated. So it's like, stop whining. But I thought it was a really cool vibe. Like it seemed like the crowd is really into it. Like the kind of the way the stadium was, like it was kind of built into the hill. Like that seemed just like a really cool place to play. Supra I still think they are a playoff team. I still think Ottawa are just really poor to start the season. And Super were all over them, if not for their keeper who made a ton of great saves. So Innocent is there, and he had a hell of a game. So he was way better than he was in Champions Cup. And yeah, I think it was a really cool game. It's always good to see a sold out stadium in a team's first game. And this was a legit full game, not like Vancouver FC where they're like, oh, we're totally full. And there's like 60% of the stadium is empty. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, to the people complaining about the football lines, like it's a temporary thing. You've been begging for a club in Quebec for the last 7 years. You got one and you're whining. Like, what are you doing? So I can't wait to actually get out to a stadium out there, whichever one it is. I hope it's the one in Laval, but it could be whichever one. It could be Stade Saputo. It could be a random park in the street. Montreal's a kick-ass town. I want to go back. I think there's a crew going for the game on the 3rd, so I hope you have a hell of a time. And yeah, it was great to watch. And I personally enjoyed it way better than I would have the Cavalry Forge game. And with someone who doesn't, if it's not Cavalry playing or Forge playing and you're hoping that they lose, it was fun to watch the two of them. So that's my perfect rundown of a game that most people watching this pod does not care about. So, yeah.
I watched as well, and it's kind of funny that the goaltender that gets a clean sheet is French, but not eligible to play for Supra because of their rules. And the game-winning goal was scored by a Franco-Ontarian. Like, two players that, based on all of Supra's regional restrictions, are French identifying, but not from Quebec, so they're not eligible to play for Supra, get the clean sheet and get the game-winning goal. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, their forward Quemi, like I think he played with Valor a couple of years ago, and he was terrible for Valor. And then he shows up with Supra, and he's insane. Like he is very good.
I think a lot of that is playing with Sean Rea, who throughout his time in the CPL has been one of the best distributors. And then you've got Chouanier bombing it down the left side. And even though Chouanier, I don't think played up to his pedigree in that match. But I think I think Sean Rea is the straw that stirs the drink for this club.
Yeah, and I was going to say I think that's a matter of the Valor effect, where you can have good players that go to Valor and they just don't look that good. Like Chris Twardek is like one of the leading scorers in Ireland this year, and he was like a fullback last year who got like 1 goal. And to be fair, I think he's a decent player, but he, you know, like everyone in Valor, like there's like to say there's levels to this. And like he was Valor good, but he wasn't like he would have been a bench player on Cavalry, and now he goes to Ireland and he's leading the league in scoring or up there. So you know, it's the Valor effect for sure.
And then Sean, one other comment before we get away from this match because it's not Cavalry. Did you think Santiago Lopez was as invisible as I did, considering all the big fireworks that they were claiming were going to come from this signing?
I'm going to be honest, I forgot he was on the pitch. So there was a lot of hype around him because obviously he comes from Liga MX. You know, he was very good for our U20s national team. He scored against Cavalry in Champions Cup, but Cavalry scored 2, just saying. But I think he'll be just fine, but he didn't really impress me that much. Like Kwemi, if you want to compare the number 9s, I guess he's the 99. Kwemi was far superior. So
being a Canadian wearing number 99, I know it's a different sport, but you know better than that, Santi. Like, come on.
Yeah, so I'm sure he'll be fine in a couple weeks when he gets, you know, in with the rest of the squad, but I didn't think he was that good. So I don't know why, like, you know, we're at a point now where like a fringe player on Pumas is not good enough for the national team. And that speaks more to like 10 years ago, he would have been like starting every game and he would have been like the shit. But now, you know, he's in tough to make this national team. And unless they're doing like a Camp Poutine where you're calling guys from like Thiago Coimbra or I don't remember exactly who they had in the January camp, but he's at that level right now. And so, you know, if he even shows up like Coimbra got like 12 goals last year. So, you know, he's not at his level right now. So,
well, there you go. That's a good chat about a game I did not watch and know nothing about. But you know, looking at the farm ratings, I think hell of a game by Innocent, man. He's a hell of a goalie. Was that his first start since the Champions League?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Millie looked awful.
Okay. But yeah, I kind of remember the stadium line thing. I remember Ottawa got fined for that a couple years ago because they it was looking at like weird scheduling thing. They couldn't get their lines off in time. That's very funny.
At some point, like you gotta we don't have a lot of stadiums in this country.
I don't really care, but
at some point, like don't get me wrong, it doesn't look good. But like if you got to play a couple games in a stadium with 5,000 people that has football lines, like suck it up. Like it is what it is, right? Or build a damn stadium. You know what I mean?
My only comment was it was hard to see the near touchline on my screen, but
oh yes, that's true. Yeah, I would agree with that just because of the way the camera angle was. Like when the ball went into the corner, you couldn't see the player. But I thought the vibe was really good, and you know, we would, you know, a lot of clubs would kill for a vibe like that. Like Vancouver is nowhere near that. Pacific is nowhere near that. Toronto is nowhere near that.
And they paid for their stadium fee.
Yeah, exactly.
On the topic of other things that aren't directly Cavalry related, I guess it's kind of tangentially related. The Cavalry II now schedule came out in the Great Alberta Premier League. I believe Sean knows more about this than I do, but they will be playing a few games at SAIT, which could be nice to you know, head up there, watch a little bit of our U21s.
Is that field still on top of the parking garage? Is that still
on top of the parking garage? Yeah, right by side. I know they're rebuilding some part of. It's been a while since I've been to SAIT, but they tore down a bunch of stuff. But I think it's still outside where the gateway was. For those of us who used to drink at SAIT. And so I've heard the stands have been improved. Stu was saying the stands have gotten better, and so you have that nice. Like you can only sit on like half the pitch because the other half is like you'd be falling off a 6-story parkade, but with a nice view of downtown. And so I think the schedule, like the venues have come out for the first couple months, and all their home games are at SAIT. So you know, I think a few people are interested in checking them out. Like they play next Friday, which is May 1st, and the Friday after, which is May 8th. And I'm in the process of messaging the club to see like, what do you do for tickets? Because I've never seen them sell them, and I've heard they're free, but I don't want to.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago I went. I did have to. This was like a QR code at the gate. It was like $10 or something.
That's fine.
That was a Foothills hosted game.
Oh, was it? Okay. No, I've
Yeah.
been to Cavalry 20 games too that
Oh.
I've had to pay for. I'm not sure though.
Villains were $11 last year, I remember, and
Okay.
like it's all in like I haven't seen a ticket over $15.
Mhm.
So if they do charge, it'll be like less than a beer at Spruce Meadows. So good option to go check it out. It's a nice central stadium. People always say like it's got to be near the train. Well, it's like 5-minute walk from the train. So go check it out. And I think a few of us are going to try and get it. If it finally stops snowing, I'm going to try and get out one of these Fridays and go check it out. Drive up and just hang out. Yeah.
Meet up at Loco Luz. Like, is that what I'm hearing?
That was my bar in university. So I wasn't a den guy. I was a Local Luz guy because I had a lot of friends at SAIT. So actually, you know what? I don't want to do it because like it'll kill the vibe I have from like 15 years ago when I was in university. So
But yeah,
figures on that.
yeah. But these it's support the see the future of your cavalry at the Cavalry II. It's a good time out, cheap tickets.
But it's interesting. Back down to an 8-team league.
Yep, no more Edmonton Scottish. We beat them so hard last year; they just stopped existing.
I think the Banks beat them so hard they stopped existing.
No one wants to play in Edmonton. Play in Edmonton. So, yeah. So I guess they're $1 million in debt and financially mismanaged their club, and there's some lawsuits going on. And really, Edmonton just doesn't take the game that seriously. And outside of national team games, which also, by the way, they've sold 35,000 tickets, and I'm going to go up and enjoy that game against Uzbekistan. But yeah, there's now 6 clubs in Calgary and 1 in Edmonton and 1 in St. Albert. So get your shit together, Edmonton. Come on.
Yeah, just call it the Calgary Premier League at this point. But like, we have to remember there is a lot of former Cavalry talent spread throughout this league. Guy who was chasing the Golden Boot for Blizzards, Mo Gander. I know he just announced his signing. So it is still good football. Like, as much as we are Cavalry till we die, like, go out, support this league, because guys coming out of Foothills, Rangers, Villains, like, there is a lot of talent still in the Alberta Premier League.
Yeah, and Villains just built a dome. So Villains is my local. And they were bad last year. They were bad. I went to a couple of games and they were not good. But even then, like they built a dome using private money. So there's really good things going on. And yeah, like you said, it's good quality stuff. And there's a couple of really cool venues. Like Broadview is like great. It's centrally located.
Right? Oh yeah, Broadview rocks.
Broadview is probably the best stadium in the city. And
they have a beer garden there. Like one more.
Yeah, exactly. And beers I think they were $6.50 or something like that last year when I looked. So,
but and then Ruth Atakube is no longer the server.
Okay.
At the beer garden. So
yeah.
Downgrade.
Well, and MRU they just got a turf field and like they got a nice they have an actual seating area, which is kind of like, yeah, okay, it's maybe like 300 people, but like you're not getting 300 people to a League One game or a Premier League game. Even like Glenmore, their new track has like a decent stand. So like there's good stuff. Like, and then if you got to play indoors, you go to one of the domes. So yeah, go check it out. And
as long as you're not at whatever we're calling Foothills now. Ugh. How warm do you want to get watching an indoor soccer game?
Yeah.
I mean, also just not being able to see the game from up top in front of like pillars and all that stuff. It's a really pathetic facility. But yeah, I want to primarily go watch it.
Great pitch, terrible views.
Yeah. There you go. It's a great facility, just bad for watching.
Yeah.
It's not a good spectator facility, but that's not why.
And also several balls have hit the ceiling at games I've been at, which is also very funny. But yeah, moving on from that, we're really scraping the barrel here for content today to fill a podcast. But we can now get to the preview of the game this weekend. Saturday, 3 p.m. Is it 3 p.m.? Yeah, 3 p.m. The much anticipated Paw Patrol game, as your Cavalry FC will take on the undefeated Inter Toronto FC in their third game. They're coming off a 1-0 victory to Vancouver and a 2-2 draw to Halifax in their opening game. It's going to be fucking snowing again, which is fantastic. Great weather at the Cavs. this year. But yeah, what do you think of this one?
I think first, before we get into the game, Luke, who's your favorite Paw Patrol? Because everyone has a favorite Paw Patrol. You got one.
I don't have a favorite. Unfortunately, I don't have a favorite problem. Maybe I'll see if I can do like a BuzzFeed quiz or something about this. I'll get back to you.
Just do one of those like get a mic in the stands and ask all the kids what their favorite Paw Patrol. By the way, have you bid on any of the game worn or I guess it would be warm up worn jerseys? Because I've bid on 2. Michael Harms. So don't outbid me on the Michael Harms, and then Prince Harry. I got that one. So starting bids are $50. So do it. It's for charity. I'm not sure which charity exactly, but do it.
It's the Leg Up Foundation. It's always the Leg Up Foundation.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Meadows.
Yeah, Conrad, you strike me as a Rubble guy. I think you like Rubble. So
I like whatever my nephew likes. Like, let's be real on this. But to get to the match, it'll be interesting because another one of those guys who I think needed to raise his level to try and get on the page of this national team is Shola Jimo. Like, obviously, he's been the talk for Inter York 9 United FC for the last couple of years, and I don't know how to rate him. Like, I think he is in a position that Canada is super deep in on that left side. He's young and full of pace. So we'll have to see, because it'll be probably you'll see Jimo and Bitar trying to take on Payton and Perlman for a lot of this match. So I think it'll actually be an interesting how the chess pieces align here against Inter Toronto FC 9 United.
Well, just to answer your question here, Sean, I did a quiz. Which Paw Patrol character are you? Apparently, I am Rubble's ready vibe. Apparently, I am a fun-loving pup who's always ready to dig in. So I don't really know what to make of that. But
bring your construction hat, baby. Let's go.
Okay. Good answer. I remember last year they made the players like answer that question. Like, you could tell they had no idea what they were saying. They were just like told what to say.
As long as they're not the cop dog, Luke. We all know
okay.
that 1312 includes Paw Patrol.
There we go.
For the record, my daughter's favorite Paw Patrol is Marshall, who's the fire one. So he's the Dalmatian. So I'm just saying Marshall's a very popular one. You can tell who has kids on this podcast and who doesn't. So that's one Marshall. Yeah.
I did see Mason Trafford saying on his Instagram story it's his favorite game of the year, which is very funny too. But yeah, back to the football. I do think I think they're I think I have them 4th or 5th on my power rankings. I think they're not a bad team. It's certainly going to be a good test to see at home, especially. So,
because we have to remember they do have the Ginger Wonder Kid Ollie Bassett back from his journey down south. Do you think he features in this match?
He and Buddy Bongo have been coming off the bench, so it sounds like they're not at full fitness yet. So, I think we'll see them. I don't know if they'll start. So. And it sounds like Jimo has been playing a little more further back. So I think he's been at fullback a little bit this year instead of at wings. So while we were on the topic of him earlier, like I think he's one of these players that like at 16, he was so good. And then maybe he had not as big a progression as we thought. Because when you see a 16-year-old doing so well at playing against men, you're like, oh, this guy's going to be the next big thing. And then if they don't automatically like jump up a level, then it's kind of like, oh, he's just disappointing. But we have to remember he's only 18, and you know he's still a good player. But yeah, I think it sounds like he's a little further back this year, so you know it'll be interesting to see what he does. But I think of the players on the left, because I think he plays on the left, you know, I think Tigny's the far better of the two. So
yeah, and it's interesting because the other player that's on that left side for ITSC is Luke Singh, obviously the former FC Edmonton man. And it's interesting to see that, because I always think of Luke Singh as a young player, but he's 25 years old already. I guess maybe just I think him as that TFC2 player still. So
I want to hear Luke Singh about Luke Singh.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It would be a very disparaging thought. I don't rate him highly at all. But yeah, like again, like it's I think it'll be a good test for us to see kind of where we're matching up, especially as we get more and more into the season. If we can still, I don't know who Forge are playing, but if we can keep matching them at the top of the table, that'd be nice.
I think they play Pacific.
They play Pacific. Okay, never mind. So they're going to win.
So it's at best. If anything, we're going to lose on goal difference because Pacific are dog shit this year. Although they had that like 98th minute equalizer against Halifax where they just like let the guy walk in, and Carducci reminds us that he's only 6 feet tall and just past his outstretched arms. So, anyways, yeah, the Pacific are terrible. Forge are going to crush them. So we need to do the same. I do think Toronto are a good squad this year, and I think Eustachio is a really good coach. But I don't know if they quite have it there yet. I think they got to gel, and I think they'll come on strong. Once they get figured out. They kind of remind me of Cavalry the last couple of years, where you start slow and then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, Cavalry are a good team. So, yeah, it'll be a good test for sure. And York, Toronto, whatever, they've played us really well at home the last couple of years. Like I think was it last year they walked us off the park. I think in the middle of the summer.
It seems to happen like we always get one game a year where they just kick our ass.
Just destroy us. So.
Well, it's Cavalry legends Marty Nash and Mario Stacchio who just know how to figure us out. But
they all know Tommy too well.
Yeah.
But gents, is this the match we finally see Toby Warshevsky kind of get off his schneid through open play? Because he kind of seems to be stumbling a little bit in open play in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can feast off Luke Singh if he has to try and do that little defensive thing. But if I were betting Matt, I would put money on Toby getting a goal here.
We should probably make a bet on it then. Do you want to bet on it? Next game, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's do a pint.
Yeah. Okay. So
you don't believe in Toby?
Goal from open play versus nothing, or
yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Yeah. And if he gets a goal from a penalty, it's a draw, or just a goal or not. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's
okay,
better.
Yeah. Okay. You heard it here first.
Illegal wagering. I'm reporting you guys.
It's a $15 punch at yourselves now, which is I want quickly write about the shit beer selection now. It's terrible. Yeah, I'm not drinking Mick Ultra. I'm not drinking like Stella, I guess. It's not really much better. You know what I miss? I miss those Rapid Ascent beers from a few years ago. Those were really good.
Yeah, they went under, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and I thought I saw Banded Peak on there, so at least Banded Peak's decent. Like Mount Crushmore is like one of the greatest beers in the city, but like last game, and I hear they were really skeleton with their staff, so like it
looked like it.
Shit. To be fair, they got the contract finalized like 6 days or something before the season started, so
they didn't have a beer guy even in the stand, so it's just like
that's money on the table that you're just
like you literally would walk up with your tray of like 24 beers or whatever you have, and you would come back empty the whole time. So it's like,
they killed Jay, man.
Yeah. No, Jay, come back.
Rest in peace, Jay, if you're listening.
Yeah, so support your local pubs, like support the ship, support ENC, support Kildare, support wherever you go. Have a couple extra pints. Maybe it doesn't hurt to like take a break off the beer for a couple hours. Like we drink so much on the bus ride down that
But there's hot water margaritas now.
Which I bought 2 of those things. I told you to be careful with them. So but yeah, like my thing is just the draft beer because that was a really good deal. The 20-ounce Carlsberg for $13, whatever it was. But
that draft was always way better price. So
yeah.
I don't drink, so love. Let's bring back the hand pies, please. Let's.
Those pies too. Those were the only thing I ever ate at Smooth Meadows.
I heard there was Vietnamese at the game though, and like there was a food truck with Vietnamese, and I think they have food trucks coming in. So I think that's what they're doing, where they have like some basic stuff, and then they bring in food trucks and.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens this weekend. Anyway, but yeah, 3 p.m. On Saturday. It'll be a nice snowy day. Hopefully, I'll get this podcast out tonight. So on Friday morning, people can listen to on their commutes or whatever, get ready for the game. But yeah, thank you all for listening. We'll hopefully try and talk to you next week after a win against York. Let's do our predictions here. I'm going to say 2-1.
3-0. Nate's getting his first clean sheet at home.
I'm going to do 2-0, and I will be absolutely freezing because it's supposed to be windy too.
It's supposed to be worse than the other game.
It's supposed to be like 70-kilometer-an-hour winds right in our face.
It sounded like
They've been 6 since the last match. Come on, Calgary.
It looked like hell today. It was 20 degrees on Tuesday. I had a great time.
I walked around at 8 a.m, and I was just like, it feels like minus 15 outside. Like,
yeah.
It's not that cold, but like that wind, it just kills you. I think there was a playoff game a couple of years ago. I think it was the Pacific loss where we had the wind in our face like that the whole game, and it was so cold. So I hope it's just no wind. Like I can handle the cold and the snow, just no wind. in my
Yeah,
face.
bring our
goggles.
balaclavas.
The ski goggles are coming back, folks.